you right now. NFL Total Access. Our team of analysts is like no other.
That's all you, Dez. Throw up that X.
Why are Cowboys fans so happy today? Because let's be honest, Dez Bryant isn't all that good at holding out. When will the drama be done in Dallas?
Wow, what a catch by the rookie.
The drive that's always alive.
Johnny Manziel says his drama won't be back, and neither will this.
The money sign will not be back.
But with McCown on the mark, will it even matter?
Second team snaps for famous Jameis, second string drama in New England, and second thoughts about Bradford's knee have us asking for a second opinion.
Plus the best father-son combos in NFL history. It's Friday, and that's a reason to celebrate.
Your total access to the greatest game on earth.
5 seconds.
NFL Total Access.
3.
Here we go.
Train's leaving.
Come on in here. Happy Father's Day weekend edition of NFL Total Access kicking off for you. Alongside Amber Theo Harris, I'm Rhett Lewis, Brian Baldinger, and Michael Robinson will say hello here shortly, just as coaches and players are saying see you in 6 weeks.
That's right, it's summer vacation officially, as 32 teams have all wrapped up minicamp. For the Dallas Cowboys, the Dez Bryant saga rolls on.
He might sit out the regular season opener. This is not a rumor. It's legit.
He should be focusing on helping this team to become a champion.
This is the same Dez Bryant who showed up to voluntary OTAs, took part in drills without actually being under contract. I have not talked to anyone who believed that his threat is legitimate.
For anybody who thinks that he's not the type of guy to follow through with his word, don't test him.
Dez Bryant was the only player on the Cowboys roster not to attend mandatory minicamp today.
You know, right now there's just too big a divide. I don't think anything we're going to say right now is going to sway what Dez may think.
Dez loves football. He's got a great passion for the game. He'll take care of his business. We'll take care of our business, and hopefully all this stuff can get worked out.
Dez tweeting today, everybody voicing opinions. 13 mil is cool, but where's my security? I'll wait 5 years without complaining, so how am I selfish?
If we're still in a franchise situation with Dez, I have no doubt that he'll be leading the way against the Giants.
We have a Dez Bryant sighting in Dallas.
He did have a conversation with Jerry Jones, and at the end of that conversation, the two men shared a hug. Not sure if that means that Bryant will get his long-term deal before that July 15th deadline, but everyone seemed genuinely happy to have Bryant back at practice.
If I were a running back today, I'd be in very good hands because I have Pro Bowl fullback Michael Robinson here with me and resident offensive lineman Brian Baldinger as well. Good to have you guys here with us.
Thanks, Amber. Yeah, awesome to
All
be
right,
here.
so we have 26 days now until that Dez Bryant deadline in which he must reach a long-term deal or else play under the franchise tag. So knowing that, I'm going to start with you, Baldy. When will we see Dez Bryant back on the field?
Well, you know, the Cowboys are trying to defend the NFC East title. And I think it's going to be difficult without DeMarco Murray, but it's almost impossible if Dez Bryant is on the field. But to answer the question, I think September 13th, the first Sunday of the season, they're in Dallas against the Giants, division opponent. I would think Dez Bryant will get this deal done by then. I don't know when, but I think he'll be in lineup on September 13th.
Baldy, I'm right there with you. He will be in the lineup the first game of the season. I think he will get a long-term contract done by the middle of July. At first, I didn't think so, but seeing him come in yesterday, seeing him show his face, seeing him talking to Jerry Jones, again, men can get things done when they can talk face-to-face.
And it is a show of good faith. I know the point of contention is the lack of guaranteed money for him, but perhaps just showing up shows he really wants to be a part of this team and he wants to be on the field. And, Baldy, when he is on the field, there's a big difference.
You know, listen, I put this together. I mean, this was a lot of fun for me. But I went in the film room, Michael, and just pulled a couple plays. Some of them are going to be obvious, but some of them, I think, to people, I mean, here it is, the divisional championship game against Green Bay. We all remember the play. I don't know how many receivers in the league can do what Dez does against Sam Shields taking it from him. And then right here, he's not looking to just catch that ball. He's looking to win the game and send him to the NFC Championship game. We all can scout Dez Bryant that ability. Watch what he does here. Watch him take the double team right here. I mean, they bracket Dez in New Orleans. Watch. It opens it up for Terrence Williams across the middle. One-on-one, Terrence Williams catches one of his 8 passes. That's the passing game. It opens the things up for the other guys. But how about the running game? They always cloud Dez Bryant, the extra receivers. New Orleans does here. But it creates an alley right here for DeMarco Murray. And then at 225 pounds, Dez Bryant They're not afraid to go shield any defender right here in order for DeMarco Murray to get into the end zone. So those are three of the things that Dez Bryant can do, and some of the things that they'll miss if he's not in that lineup.
No question about it, Baldy. Right now, Calvin Johnson is the highest paid receiver in the NFL at $18 million a year. Meanwhile, though, it's Dez Bryant who has led the NFL in receiving touchdowns over the past 3 years. He has 9 more than Megatron in that time. Now, Ian Rappaport is saying Dez isn't asking for that kind of a salary for Megatron type of money, but he does want more guaranteed money. Cowboys training camp opens July 30th.
Today I'm sitting here and eager to talk about the 2015 Cleveland Browns. And the way that they treated me in this locker room from the day I got back, I really can't even put it into words how special that was for me. Off the field, you know, I was a little bit of a distraction. I think I've done a good job throughout this offseason of really trying to get back to my roots and who I really am as a person. I'm trying to keep a lot of my private, personal life exactly that. You know, last year was last year for me. It was what it was, and it was not very good. Johnny Football probably took over me a little bit. The money sign will not be back. At the end of the day, everything that happened last year is not on anybody else but myself.
Well, guys, those numbers painting the picture of what Johnny Manziel called this week a disaster in 2014 for him personally. Now, he's made the necessary steps, the necessary adjustments as a person. He's now focusing on football, as he told us in addressing the media for the first time since leaving rehab a couple of days ago. John DeFilippo comes over as his offensive coordinator, says for the first time he saw Johnny Manziel make it to his third progression. Now, that is a step. But, Baldy, how does he continue that upward trend and become the starter in Cleveland?
Well, I think the private life that was a mess last year, the kid from Kerrville, Texas, like that's the start, okay? Like you clean it up. Let's just get back to winning football games and winning positions. So
how does
what
he
has to do? He has to master the position. It's a new offense that you mentioned, John DeFilippo. So as a quarterback, you've got to know what everybody's doing, not just your assignment, everybody else's assignment. You have to be able to make everybody else better, so you have to master it. I don't know the last time he's mastered an offense. He's got to do that. And then it's about execution, Mike. It's about execution, and your confidence and the swag will return if you can execute. Because when you execute, you start to win games, and then he'll win the trust of the players and the staff, and he'll get back to what we thought he could be.
Baldy, you're talking about mastering an offense. Mastering an offense, reps, knowing what everybody is doing. He had to learn that last year with a totally different offense, and now this is another season he has to do it all over again. We don't know if he can master that position.
Right.
That's the big question. Johnny, I know you're improving off the field, but I need to see you on the field improve, and I'm just not convinced enough that he has the tools to succeed on the national level.
The hype is over, okay? But I think there's still hope, okay? I mean, they did spend a first-round pick on this guy. They haven't given up on him. You know, Josh McCown is a proven veteran. He's bounced around this league. He's a smart kid, and it knows what it takes. But you know, if they're going to try and make Johnny here have a chance to lead this team, they've got to give him that opportunity to do it, too.
Well, now, John DeFilippo comes in, as we mentioned here, is what he wants to do on offense best suited for a Johnny Manziel?
Well, listen, what Johnny did at Texas A&M doesn't work in the NFL. It just doesn't. So you're going to have to beat people from the pocket. You're going to have to decipher defenses, find the open man, and pull the trigger.
Baldy, you're saying all the things that we have not seen this kid do.
But I said those things coming out of the draft, that he's going to struggle in this area. You can't, we saw last year, he couldn't outrun defenses. He can't create these splash plays that he did in college against Alabama. Those plays aren't there in the NFL.
Again, the social media age and the social media kid doesn't always translate to what happens on the field.
Well, guys, there's really nowhere to go but up for Johnny Manziel. Just 2 quarterbacks threw for fewer yards in their first 2 NFL starts than Johnny Manziel did.
And I wasn't one of them.
A year ago. Quincy Carter was one of them. Amber?
Next on NFL Total Access, why is Tom Brady taking so many first-team reps? Don't those belong to Jimmy Garoppolo? Or is this just a case of Tom being Tom? Is Jameis Winston's smile hiding something? How about Chip Kelly? Is he as nervous as he looks? Some minicamp moments need more than just another viewing. They need a translator. Plus, it's a weekend to honor thy father, and we're getting a head start, ranking the NFL's top father-son combos. Something tells me those Mannings, they just might make the list. Father's Day is this weekend, and Clay Matthews is certainly making it special for one diehard Packers fan. Coming up later in the show, we'll tell you what the Pro Bowler did to surprise one member of the Packers faithful.
The results of the Wells Report on the underinflated footballs used in the AFC Championship game looming large at Patriots minicamp this week. The consequences, of course, including a 4-game suspension as it stands now for Tom Brady. A suspension, though, he is appealing. Our Judy Batista was there in Foxborough for the Pats minicamp and joins us now from New York. Judy, you kind of detailed some real unfamiliar territory in a piece on NFL.com about this Patriots minicamp, and I was particularly drawn to the first line of your piece where you note that the song Crazy Train was playing one of the practices there for the Pats. Maybe a fitting description of the scene there, because this is something we haven't seen. Kind of set that scene and what the quarterback position really looked like for the Patriots this week.
Well, Rhett, it was really odd looking because for chunks of the practice, they had Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo side by side on the field, both of them working with members of the first team going down the field at the same time in 11-on-11 drills. So it was very odd to see that. As you've been around the Patriots, so you know this. I mean, Tom Brady does not give up snaps all that often, and he was giving up a whole lot of them to Garoppolo this week in minicamp. Obviously, this is by necessity. They've got to get Garoppolo ready in case he has to start any of those first 4 games that Brady is suspended for. But it was a very strange scene. Now, the loud music was being played to put stress on both of them and to stress the importance of communication among the group. And as a matter of fact, there was a miscue with Garoppolo's group at one point, a bad substitution, and Belichick ordered the entire group to run a lap around the field.
Yeah, now that actually sounds familiar, that punishment there. Now, if there are 2 tenets of the Patriot Way, Judy, you know it is for Bill Belichick to do what is best for the team and for his players to do their job. How much has this situation here with Brady, as of now suspended those 4 games, really put a strain on those mantras?
Well, you know what? If you ask the players, of course, they're not going to admit that anything is different. I mean, I talked to Rob Gronkowski and Danny Amendola, and they both said, we're functioning just like we always do. We're working hard. We're trying to get better every day. So they've got their talking points down. But again, I mean, just the scene at practice is much different than you're used to seeing at any other practice, where usually the first-string quarterback would be getting the large share of the snaps. And again, in this case, Brady was splitting them with Garoppolo, and you saw Garoppolo working with guys like Gronk and Amendola, Julian Edelman, I mean, throwing passes to them. So it's clear they're getting him ready. They're not going to talk about it. That's part of the Patriots way, of course. They're not going to talk about it, but it's clear that they have had to change up the way they're practicing.
No doubt. And to be inside of Brady's head right now, but that would be something, although we can't because he hasn't really spoken to the media. So how then have his teammates really handled this departure from the norm and seeing someone other than Brady throwing first-team reps, first-team passes there for the offense?
I think they've handled it right the way you would expect them to. They're doing their jobs. I mean, they are very good in Foxborough at blocking out the noise. They've always been this way. Certainly after Spygate, they were this way, and they went 16-0 in the regular season that season. Bill Belichick is very good at simplifying things for his players. He said, you know, he always says, let me handle the outside stuff. You just concentrate on what your assignment is. And that seems to be the way they're approaching this, or at least the way they approached it during minicamp. They're just working on doing what they have to do, and whoever is throwing the ball out there is who they're going to catch it from.
All right, Judy Batista with us from New York. You can read Judy's piece there on NFL.com/Batista.
One thing we all know, this is Tom Brady's world. You don't win 4 rings and become a future Hall of Famer by stepping aside and giving up your snaps. Sort of an alpha male kind of thing going on here. How tough is it for Tom Brady to give up his snaps?
It's like pulling teeth for Tom Brady to sit out there and
without
watch.
any Novocaine.
Without any Novocaine, seriously. To see other people running the show at practice and throwing passes. You talk about a guy who's been in the league going into his 14th season. He's used to being that alpha dog, that alpha male at practice, controlling everything. Older players, when they get into the twilight of their career, they understand how important practice is, and Tom Brady gets it. He understands for him to be the player, the all-world player that we're used to and accustomed to seeing from him, he has to practice well.
But Jimmy needs to practice too. I mean, this is a second-year quarterback.
Yeah, but you know, Tom Brady is going to the Hall of Fame because of his approach to practice. And when you watch Tom Brady at practice, he's the loudest individual you've ever heard. Like he has a Mr. Microphone in his hand. And that comes from the command that he has. And when he steps on the field, not just the offense, the team is his team. He understands that. Now, you know, a lot's going to depend on this meeting with the commissioner. I mean, is this suspension? Is it 4 games? Because if it's 4 games and stays, he has to help Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he's got to be a team player at that point. It's not going to be easy, but he's got to put his ego aside. Now, if it's 1 game or 2 games, I can see Tom Brady still fighting for every rep, going, you know, look, Jimmy, like, have a good career, but this is my team, and, you know, I'll listen to the coach. I'll defer, but he's going to fight for his reps.
But just being devil's advocate, Tom Brady knows what he's doing, even if it is 1 or 2 games, if it's reduced and that's all that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play. Isn't it the Patriot way, the team concept for Tom to help this young guy?
I mean, it is, but Amber, you have to understand. Let's say this suspension is 4 games. You have 12 other games where you're going to need your Super Bowl winning, your MVP quarterback to be prepared for. And again, this is year 14. He's just not used to going out at practice and letting somebody else control the flow of practice. He has to be the guy controlling it.
He's had so many backup quarterbacks over the last 15 years. I mean, you know, whether it's Brian Hoyer or Matt Castle, I mean, these guys have all come through there. And he's standing. And part of the reason why he's standing is because it's his team. He loves it. And he makes everybody else better in practice. To watch him scrimmage against the Eagles the last 2 years and to throw to Zach Sudfeld or whoever, Josh Boyce, and making these guys look like stars, like it's something to watch.
There's a reason he is where he is at this point in his career, and it's not because he's willing to step aside anytime soon. We're going to find out more about Tom Brady. His appeal is June 23rd, Rhett.
All right, Amber, thanks very much. Jameis Winston demoted, Adrian Peterson indestructible, and what's with Chip Kelly doubting Sam Bradford? Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Coming up next, they said it. We'll translate.
Hi, this is Cameron Wake from the Miami Dolphins. I want to wish all the fathers out there happy Father's Day. Of course, my beloved father, happy Father's Day.
Hey, this is Vontae Davis from the Indianapolis Colts. I'd like to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
Don't do that. There you go. You think, come on. You like it. See what you were saying? Yeah, we don't get tired, man. Live from the basement. Seahawks, 12
Hold on, tell them what channel we on.
Oh, this channel 83 pay-per-view, man.
Only pay-per-view. Hold on, how they subscribe?
You gotta be blessed.
You heard it.
Let's take a look at what's trending. The big story in the NFL today was Marshawn Lynch at the Warriors parade, being a guy that's from Oakland. You know, Beast Mode had to support his hometown team. He shared a float, though, with Golden State Warrior Draymond Green.
You know, I didn't know when I'd be able to see this. I thought, you know, I told Coach Kerr that, you know, y'all got to go get y'all got to go get a championship. So, you know, I don't have the lone championship for Oakland because, you know, everybody from Oakland is Raider fans. But now they adopted the Oakland Seahawks. So, I mean, you know, they've been riding with that.
No doubt, Marshawn, a man of his people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's
celebrating with the fans.
That was so genuine. He was happy right there, guys. That was real genuine.
Now, Mike, you have translated for Beast Mode in the past.
Yeah, I speak mode.
Yeah, you do speak mode. But we are going to put you to the translation test once again here as we go through our mini camp translations, now whether it's coach speak or saying all the right things or all the wrong things. Some things in the NFL do get lost in translation. Yes. So we're going to hear the coaches and players say it, and you guys will decipher the code. All right, we're going to start down in Tampa, where apparently #1 overall picks not immune to having to earn their spot.
We see you running with the 2s, and we know what will happen when other people see the same. Do you get alarmed at all by the fact that you are at this point running with the second team?
Man, you know, I'm blessed to play this great game of football, you know, and I got to earn everything that I get, you know, and I got some great teammates, and I enjoy trying to earn my spot.
That was sweet. I like that. He's telling the older guys on that team, hey, guys, I'm paying my dues. I'll be the best quarterback I can be for you coming up this year.
The operative word and all that was earn. Yep. Earn the trust, earn the respect, earn the position. I think he likes it that way. He doesn't want to be giving it to him. He wants to show him that he knows how to do that.
The last quarterback pick #1 overall that did not start in week 1, Jamarcus Russell.
Ooh.
Back there in 2007.
Don't put him in that category at all. I mean, You just can't. I think this guy, from a skill standpoint, is a lot better.
And as we mentioned, he is saying all the right things. That's what the Bucs want to see him say, right? That he has to go out there and earn it. And so far, earning the trust of Buccaneers players and coaches there in Tampa. Guys, moving on. I feel like we could do an entire show or an entire segment on Chip Kelly.
Yes.
Just because of the pace in which he speaks.
Yes.
Very hard to decipher at times. Now, he does seemingly address his quarterback situation almost every day. This week, no different as the questions around Sam Bradford's health continue.
Do you think Bradford will be ready for 11 on 11 in training camp?
God, we hope so.
I guess he'd had enough. Is that what he was saying, Baldy?
He had enough. And look, I mean, Mark Sanchez is the backup. He said it's the competition. They gave Sam Bradford the $13 million, the second-round pick next year. He's expected to be the starter. And so they're doing all the things the doctor wants him to do right here, all the precautions. Sam Bradford would be underneath the center.
Sam Bradford will be the starter. And Chip Kelly's saying, look, he better be the starter, and he better do well, or my credibility will be gone in this locker room.
Or is he saying he better be there or we're in trouble with what we've got left?
Well, no, he believes in Mark Sanchez. I mean, he really does. But I think that the reason why they made the trade for Nick Foles is, you know, I mean, he's a better passer. He's more pinpoint. And Chip just thought there was a lot of plays that were left on the field last year with Nick Foles under the helm, and even Mark Sanchez, that they've got to improve upon if they want to go where they want to get to.
Sam Bradford's a little fragile, too, though.
That is true. The health is key. Not many plays on the field for Adrian Peterson a year ago, but he has been at Vikings minicamp where he has no plans of slowing down even at the age of 30, as he's telling us.
That's a big part of it, you know, having a good work ethic, you know. I don't know which guys you're talking about, but I'm sure some of those guys just got tired of working out, you know. I know a couple backs now that if they had the mindset to go out and train and get their bodies right, even after 30, they could have played another year or two as well.
Break it down.
Well, I mean, Adrian makes it sound like running backs can draw Social Security at age 30, like it's over. I mean, look, the earlier you can start preserving yourself and we all have different DNA. He's got rare DNA. The earlier you can start preserving that, the longer you're going to be able to play.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. I think Adrian Peterson, he's different. I mean, he's one of those guys, one of those beasts of a back that only comes along once or twice in a generation. And again, I think he's correct. There are some backs they don't work, and that way they don't reach their potential.
When the talent runs out, they just get pushed aside.
They just get pushed aside, but Adrian Peterson,
that's different.
That dude is different.
Now, will his work ethic and longevity translate into the all-time rushing record, which AD has said he has set his sights on? He'd have to average a little over 1,000 yards for the next 8 years in order to pass.
He's in the right system.
Emmett Smith's
Turner was there with him.
8,000.
He knows how to feed it back.
A good point there. As we move on, Jay Gruden has had plenty to say, both good and bad, about RG3, right? And he has those good vibes, though, that he's been talking about this offseason, not just limited to RG3, the guy who he has proclaimed the starter for 2015.
I think all three of them are starting to just gain momentum in that regard. And it's been impressive to watch. You know, you see Colt McCoy do some great things today. Kirk did some good things yesterday. And both of them are making their case known. Both of them, like I said before, have had a taste of a starting quarterback job in the NFL, and they both want it back real bad.
What's he saying, Mike?
The translation I got was, I have to play RG3, but don't be surprised if you see these other two guys.
They got an owner that spent a lot of money and a lot of picks on RG3, who was once the Rookie of the Year, took this team to an NFC East title in the playoffs. And but I think Jay's like, man, I just want to play the guy that's doing what I want them to do.
Well,
I think he's kind of lighting a fire here.
Hang on a second here, guys. If all three of these guys end up starting again in 2015 like they did in 2014, that is bad news, right?
Last year.
But in RG3's defense, I got a chance to spend some time with him a few weeks ago. He is humble. I think last year broke him a little bit. I think we'll see a better RG3 this year.
Well, there you have it. RG3 steps in the right direction. Jay Gruden has said even if they are baby steps for now. They said it. They translated.
Five-time Pro Bowl linebacker Clay Matthews is helping to make this Father's Day a very special one for Packers fan Bill Westdyke. The North Jersey husband and father of 4 provides for his family while also caring for his wife, who was diagnosed with MS 10 years ago. Matthews teamed up with Courtyard Hotels to give Bill 2 tickets to Super Bowl 50. What a great story. And with more on this, let's welcome in Clay Matthews, who joins us on the phone. Clay, how cool was it to be a part of this surprise for Father's Day?
Oh, it was awesome. And like you said, especially in light of Father's Day, right around the corner, to do something special like this and give back to someone, who has done so much for his family and has kind of fulfilled that role as a father and exceeded expectations. I think it was only right to do so, especially him being a huge football fan as well.
I love seeing the look on his face in that video. It's just priceless when you come around the corner. You come from a football family. Your dad, Clay Matthews Jr., played 19 seasons in the NFL. What has been some of the best advice he's given you as a dad?
Oh, goodness. So he's given me a lot of advice, not only on the football field, but, outside of the, outside of the football arena as well. But for me, I think the biggest thing is that, once I started something, we weren't allowed to quit. We had to finish through and, give it our all. And that's kind of been my motto ever since I started playing football and really anytime I applied myself in life. So I think, especially in regards to football, that's what you see year in and year out. So I'm going to give the same effort that, I bring from day one until the end.
Oh, you follow through. We've seen that on the field. Before we let you go, I have to ask you about the Packers. Minicamp now in the books. What was the buzz around the facility as you guys head into the season?
We're feeling real good. Obviously, anytime you have Aaron at the helm, you're going to have a great team, and you have a very real possibility of getting back to the Super Bowl. Came up a little short last year, but, for the most part, everyone's coming back. Everyone's getting, a little more mature and ready to make a run at this thing. So it's like I tell people, it's just about winning games when it counts, and, we expect to be right back in the same situation we were. However, this time, hopefully it's a little different. Hopefully it's us in San Francisco this year.
Yes, so those 2 tickets that you gave to Bill Westdyke, is he going to be watching the Packers at Super Bowl 50?
Oh, that was the caveat. I wasn't going to give it to him if I didn't, think we were going to be there. So he even made sure to let me know that he's not going unless the Packers are playing. So I think I have to uphold, my responsibility of helping this team get to, San Francisco next year. So, yeah, count on it.
Clay Matthews, thanks so much for being on the show. Congratulations on all your success, and we look forward to seeing you and the Packers in the upcoming season.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on.
Who are the best players in the NFL for 2015? It's the poll that ranks players by the players themselves. Find out who makes the top 100 players of 2015, presented by Schick Extreme 3 Ultimate. Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern, followed by the can't-miss, always entertaining reaction show at 10 Eastern.
And we're not here to talk about my head. We're here to talk about these players.
If you were us, would you talk about your hat?
Of course I would talk about your head. So now I understand why you talk about my head. Why the fuck got them white pants on?
Come on, stop that, man. Come on. Look at that face. Beautiful face, right? Ziggy Marley face, right? Tomorrow People face,
He does
right?
look like him.
Tell him how you feel.
You trying to say I don't have no style? That guy LaVar with the Predator.
You've heard the apple never falls far from the tree. Well, Mike Pettine is living it. Coming up next, why Browns fans are hoping another phrase is true. Like father, like son.
This is Khalil Mack. I want to wish all the dads out there, especially my father, a happy Father's Day. Love you, Pop.
I'm Orlando Scandrick of the Dallas Cowboys, and I would like to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day.
Hi, this is Connor Barwin of the Philadelphia Eagles. I just want to wish all the dads out there a very happy Father's Day, and of course, happy Father's Day to my dad, Clip.
As you can see there, the bond between a father and son in football runs deep, where we can see the influence, inspiration, or advice from a dad to his boy play out almost every Sunday in the NFL. Well, that's no different in Cleveland, where to this day, Mike Pettine Jr. still gets fatherly football words of wisdom from his dad, Mike Pettine Sr., legendary Pennsylvania high school football coach. In this Father's Day, Sr. proves, just like parenting, the coaching never ends.
Before Mike Pettine was head coach of the Browns, he was junior, as in the son of legendary coach Mike Pettine Sr. The elder Pettine won 4 state titles as a Pennsylvania high school coach, and though he may be retired, Dad continues to coach up son and 2 other Browns assistants, both his former players as well.
They're seeing a different side of him now because he's more of an advisor. Jim will tell you this. He hears my dad's voice today. He still tenses up or maybe gets a little chill.
I played for a Coach Pettine that you were scared to death of. I didn't learn to appreciate Coach Pettine Sr. as a friend until after I was done playing for him.
Very demanding. I could see where you were either going to love him or hate him, but everybody was going to respect him. I guarantee it, we were always in his thoughts in terms of people. I mean, it wasn't just about winning. He was creating good, strong, young people. I can't say enough good things about him.
Coaching your own kid, hardest thing you ever did or best thing you ever did?
It was both. You know, he was a quarterback, and it's a tough position to play when you're in the spotlight, and then when your dad's the head coach, you know, it was difficult because when things go wrong, and you know, he would get blamed probably more than I did.
Was your dad ever the sort of person who would say, I'm hard on you because I think you'll be great, or I think you're a Division I player?
No, he was just hard on me. He was tough. I don't regret it. It's all worked out. And looking back on it now, I know what a difficult spot he was in. He went over the top with making sure that all the playing time that I got, that it was clear that I had earned it.
Even as Pettine Jr. made his way to the game's highest level, his father's tough love has remained a constant. These notes from your dad. Has he given you notes through your whole career?
The notes started when Rex took over as coordinator in Baltimore, and I was elevated to the outside linebacker coach. There'd be the instances where he pointed some things out that we hadn't picked up, so it was always welcomed.
I felt I could help, at the same time enjoy it. After a while, I started sending out duplicates, and now it's triplicates. Now I send stuff to everybody on the defensive staff.
And for all his mock grumbling, son admits the truth. He wants Dad's input. He counts on Dad's experience.
It's good stuff, and he sends 10 pages, and there's one line item and one detail that helps us out, and then we're that much better.
This is his way of staying in the game, staying competitive, and obviously he's got a vested interest in his son, and he wants to see him succeed.
Watching Dad come back in Tennessee or beating the Steelers, how does it compare to when you would win?
Even better, because I realize he's doing it on such a big stage. And I take more satisfaction out of seeing that through him than whatever we did at Central Bucks West.
Great interview by Aditi Kinklerball. It's so great to see that relationship, and it's clear that Mike Pettine is still getting a lot of fatherly advice. But how about some friendly advice? Let's give him some of that. It's not easy being the coach of the Browns, and it's not easy coaching guys like Johnny Manziel with all that hoopla. Mike, what would you say to Mike Pettine? What advice would you give him?
Well, first of all, I would say choose your quarterback, which I think they've already done, but get that defense together. I mean, really. I mean, the biggest insurance for a quarterback, whether it's a journeyman quarterback or a young quarterback, is to have a great defense. And keep welcoming those notes from your dad, because obviously they're doing great things.
Well, his dad's a legend in Philadelphia. I live in Philadelphia. His dad's legendary. So he's learned a lot from him. Obviously, he's ascended the ladder. But I would say this to Mike. Like, don't change your approach. Obviously, they're starved for winter in Cleveland. But don't change and shortchange yourself in order to make a step that you're not ready to make. I mean, he wants to build a smart, tough bully in a very tough division. And to Mike's point, like, he cut his teeth in this league on defense. Fix that defense. Keep the score down. The offense will catch up. But in that division, you know, you want to be able to know that this is a Donnybrook every Sunday when you're playing in the AFC North. And that's the type of team he wants.
Defense, running the football, and honestly, I think he's handled the Johnny Manziel situation and all the hoopla. I think he's handled it great. I think he's been honest. I think the players there believe in his philosophy. They believe in him, and that's really all you can ask for.
Naming Josh McCown the starter right out the bat, do you think that was a great move just to kind of quiet everybody else this year?
One way you could do it. One way, just to, you know, because Johnny he has to earn all that trust that he didn't get last year and didn't deserve. And so, but Josh is a pro. Like, just put the pro in his place, you know, and let him lead this team right now, because he's a good leader and he knows how to prepare. And if Johnny could catch up, if Johnny can surpass him, he'll do it. But I think that was
it was a wonderful move by Coach Pettine by naming him now. And also, what else was he going to do? He wasn't going to name Johnny. Johnny's not ready. So I think he had to name Josh McCown.
But there's that pressure sometimes from ownership or from your GM when you have that first
But
round
that's why you
pick.
can't change the approach, Andy. Like, I understand that Jimmy Haslam, the owner, has ideas. Ray Farmer, the general manager, has ideas. But they hired Mike to be the coach. Yeah. So put your ideas out there. The things that your father taught you about how to get a team ready and how to build a team, that's probably pretty good advice.
Mike Pettine trying to step forward from that 7-9 record the Browns had last year. Well, speaking of Johnny Manziel, a.k.a. Cleveland's walking controversy, he says it's time to give this signature move a season off. After the break, what's he going to replace it with?
Michael Vick joining us live here on NFL Total Access.
I've done a lot, throughout the course of my career to prove that I can win games.
We want to have a little bit of a smack talk, I guess you could say, ourselves here at NFL Network.
What's cooking out here, Seattle Seahawks? I smell something in the kitchen. And you know who got the recipe? Pete Carroll, John Snyder.
I'm challenging the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Come on, wide receivers. Get you a touchdown. Your defense was ranked 7th overall last year. What do you do?
The best player's going to play. That's what Coach said. Open competition. He says it's open. You got to go at least take a shot at it.
Man, I'm blessed to play this great game of football.
You got to come out here and have fun.
Your daughter wrote a book about your family. It's called Kelly Tough. She's only 20 years old. She's already an author.
The Hall of Famer himself, Jim Kelly. And you sacked Jim 5.5 times.
That many times?
I was on the nose taking the knee at the end of the game. And he's out.
We all have our talents, and clearly Tom Brady's is throwing a football and not dancing.
I see you. Oh,
Peyton Manning,
what
right?
is that?
Yes, it is Friday, but of course here on NFL Total Access, that means it is Fandom Friday. So we've asked you guys some questions. Baldy, Mike Robb here with me. Guys, I want to get you in on it as well. Shedding a tear here because Johnny Manziel has retired the money celebration,
We've heard, yes.
as you guys know. So we asked, what will he replace it with? TD dance, maybe a hand gesture?
I was a big fan of the show Jersey Shore. Snooki, the
Don't do it,
situation.
Baldy.
I just think a Jersey Shore fist pump. Like, you can't go wrong with that, Mike.
No celebration, man. No celebration. Get rid of Johnny Football. Put a clipboard in there between his arms. That should be his touchdown.
Well, let's see what the fans say. And Michael Robinson, they agree with you, my friend. Put the clipboard in there. No celebration for Johnny Manziel.
Emotion. You gotta let the emotion out.
Moving on here, as you know, as the kids call it, Dub Nation, winning the NBA Finals. The Warriors are champs. So bringing it to the NFL world here, we asked which of these Bay Area football teams, both with new coaches, mind you, will have the better record in 2015.
Well, I think Andre Iguodala would look good in 49ers uniform. I'm a big fan of Jim Tomsula, and I know they've lost a lot, but I think they still have a lot. And they've got a veteran quarterback in Kaepernick. I think the 49ers.
They do need some defense over there in San Francisco.
They need some linebackers, but I have to agree. The San Francisco 49ers, they lost a lot, but they still have an arsenal of players on that roster.
Well, maybe the fans will have a little love for Jack Del Rio's squad. Let's see. Yeah, 67%.
That's a little Warrior love.
All right,
there.
Be the better Bay Area
It's been a while
team.
since the Raiders could play that.
It has been a little while. Guys, I think here I'll just let the video do the talking, right? Right?
We them, boy. You see?
Tom Brady, I think guys can dance however he wants with those four
Does he put
rings.
them all on one hand? Does he share them on what's he do with them?
Look like he wears them in the sauna with all the sweat those guys are doing.
Well, that's why that Tommy Bahama jersey comes in, man. You sweat right through that.
Yeah, everybody having a good time at the Patriots Super Bowl ring ceremony at Bob Kraft's house. Moving on here, guys, Donald Trump has declared that he will run for president of the United States. I am not running, but let's see which current NFL player might make the best president, guys. What do you think?
I'm going to Michael Robb's old team and Richard Sherman.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about Stanford, educated, articulate, outspoken. I think we know exactly where he would stand on the issues. I'm going to take Sherman.
I want to go with Sherman. I also want to go with J.J. Watt, but I'm going to go with the General Peyton Manning. He's been doing it for a long time. He has those wise years, has a couple grays in the beard. He'd be a great president.
Watt has the intimidation factor for sure, but now look, there it is. Peyton Manning, the sheriff, gets elevated in office to president.
I mean, that'd be a transition, from Hall of Fame quarterback to the White House. Yeah.
Right in there for sure. So as we know, guys, Father's Day this Sunday. So we also wanted to ask who the best father-son team in the NFL is. What do you think?
Whoa, wow. Well,
There's been a lot of great ones.
Have to go with the Mannings. You just have to. I mean, look at the pedigree.
Keep the presidential theme going. I mean, they're the royalty family of the
family
NFL.
Of football,
That's
right?
what they
Peyton,
are,
Eli, don't forget Cooper and Archie there, and we're going to reveal the fan results here a bit later in the show.
Oh, it's got to be the Mannings. Come on, who other than Archie, Peyton, and Eli make up the NFL's best father-son combination? That's an easy one. Actually, it's not so easy. That's the question after the break.
With you on NFL Total Access. It's kind of a Father's Day edition, right? As we take a look here at your top 5 current NFL father-son duos. We'll start at number 5 with Don and Matt Hasselbeck. Matt, you know, currently with the Colts, entering his 17th NFL season. His dad, Don, 9 seasons as a tight end.
Matthew.
Former
there. My teammate.
There you go.
Throwing that pill around. Good job, Matt.
Coming in at number 4, Oliver and Andrew Luck. Of course, Oliver, the father. He played 5 seasons as quarterback with the Houston Oilers from 82 to 86. We all know what Andrew's done since being a top pick a couple years ago in the draft. He's lived up to the name and beyond.
I think he learned a lot of things from his dad.
And beyond.
I think he learned a lot of things from some of those things that his dad learned at West Virginia playing for the Houston Oilers.
And at number 3, we might call these guys the first family of the football trenches.
Right? I knew Howie was going to get that picture eventually there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Howie. And then his sons, Chris and Kyle Long. Howie, a Pro Football Hall of Famer, class of 2000. His son, 51.5 career sacks. Chris with the Rams. And yeah, Kyle really coming on now as an offensive lineman with the Bears.
And how about the Matthews family? We have Bruce.
We have enough time. We list them all here.
Stick with me here. Bruce, a Hall of Famer. We all know that. His son, Jake, entering his 2nd season with the Falcons. Then we've got Bruce's brother, Clay Jr., who's a 4-time Pro Bowler.
There he is.
And then our friend that was on the show earlier, Clay Matthews III. He's a 5-time
Casey
Pro Bowl
Matthews,
selection.
who played in Philadelphia for a long time.
But guys, if you ask me, this is the first family of football. The Mannings, Archie, you remember back in the day, 2-time Pro Bowl selection, drafted by the Saints. And then, you know, Peyton, obviously, gosh, do I even need to read the numbers? 14-time Pro Bowler,
right in the league,
5-time MVP, Super Bowl champion. His little brother Eli has bested him in Super Bowl titles with 2.
I think we have a pretty good idea.
Take a look, guys. We're revealing our fandom poll from earlier.
Wow, okay.
Ooh.
Maybe just on sheer volume
pretty
there.
good.
They get the win,
numbers.
Right?
Yeah, the numbers.
Strength in numbers. All right, we want to take a second to wish our fathers here a happy Father's Day.
Look at my babies.
Look at Baldy.
Big Jim.
Baldy, who's that?
Big Jim, yeah. My father, man, he played at the Naval Academy. He coached with Bill Belichick's dad, Steve, at the Naval Academy. Put the football in my hand as a little kid. All my brothers played. It all started with Big Jim.
Well, how old's your dad now? I mean,
he's 86. 86,
God bless him.
Man.
God bless him.
86 years young, man. Got a sharper memory than I do. I know that.
That's pretty cool. I mean, you see my kids there. I have a picture with my mother. She was kind of like the father to my brother and I for a long time. She taught me how to be a father. My stepfather came into my life later. Awesome dads, awesome role models in my life.
Love it. Love it. I was fortunate enough to kind of see the NFL firsthand. My dad was a trainer in the NFL, an athletic trainer in the NFL for 40 seasons, 3 different teams. And now my wife's dad is a college football coach, high school football coach. So, Dino, Rocky, happy Father's Day.
The first football family.
Yeah, right?
That's my dad the day I was born, Dennis Theo Harris. My dad gave me, and there's my sister. You can see right there in the other picture. Gave me the gift of sports. And I think that's a big gift you can give your daughter, especially because it led to a career in sports. He wanted a boy and a girl. Hey, everybody, have a happy Father's Day. Enjoy your weekend.